oikonomia was the term or the dispositive by means of which Trinity was introduced in God. How? So the discourse of the first fathers, let's say Tertullianus is one of the first to speak of the Trinity. So they will say like that: as for his being or substance, God is one. But as for his oikonomia, his economy, meaning the way he manages his house and his divine life, he is three. He has a son, like the father, like the master of the house has a son. So, and in this way they said, we keep to the monarchy, we keep to the unity. Substantially, God is one. But as far as his activity of governing his house is three. So you see the strategy. Then economia then became a crucial term, and even with time it was particularly used to mean Christology, to mean Christus. So, for instance, in the Gnostic writings, Christus is, according to that, called the man of the economy. Anthropos testo economias. And sometimes oikonomia means Christ. So, you see the problem. So, how to coincide in God, unity and Trinity, by way of distinguishing being and oikonomia. But then, the fracture, the rupture that the fathers tried to avoid in God's substance reappears as a rupture between God's being and God's action. So the consequence of this introduction of this concept of economia is that we will have in God himself a splitting between being and action. And the fathers are very aware of this, and they will speak of two discourse. Theologia referring to God's being in nature, and oikonomia referring to his praxis. And the point is that as Christ, representative of the economia, is a God like the Father and not in a subordinate condition, praxis is not founded ground in being. That's a central point in theology. There is really a splitting. And they will say, in the fight with the Arians, that Christos, the Son, is anarchos, without origin. So, divine action is as anarchical as the Father, as being of God. By the way, that's not our problem, that this is why there is no hope for an ethic in Occident, in the Western culture. Because we inherited from this paradigm and we have no possibility of grounding action in being. So, what you are and what you do have nothing to do. That's a big problem for us. But that's not important. So, you see the importance of this notion of oikonomia that will so define in the development in the theologians all the divine activity of government and management of the human life. So economia will mean finally all the history of salvation, etc., etc. So the divine government. Now, what is the translation of the Greek oikonomia in the writing of Latin fathers? Dispositio. Disposition. All Latin fathers, or fathers writing in Latin, will not say oikonomia, they will write dispositio, disposition, or sometimes dispensation. So the divine economy is a dispositio, a disposition, and this means that all our family of terms, disposition, dispositive, dispositor, disposal, to dispose, etc., have a theological lineage. Because first you have the translation of oikonomia with dispositio. But then this means then the dispositive or dispositor of which Foucault speaks can be traced back to this theological oikonomia and also in some way to this divine splitting which divides in God ontology and praxis, being and acting. You can see that this very quick genealogy assigns to the dispositive a fundamental situation, because then in the same location where Foucault puts its dispositive, we will find not only Hegel's Positivität, but also, perhaps, why not, Heidegger Gestell. Etymologically, Gestell corresponds perfectly to our concept. Stellen, in English, is the Latin ponere. So we have in a way a big set of phenomena that in some way can be traced back to the theological oikonomia or dispositio. Now, when you are interpreting a text of an author, you reach a point or a limit where you know that you are going too far, and that you are pushing your interpretation beyond the rules of hermeneutics, and that you have to stop. So I will stop in my attempt of interpretation of Foucault, genealogical interpretation of the Foucault concept of dispositif. And so let's leave Foucault, at least apparently, and go on our own way. I would say like that. I would propose a massive and general partition, division, global. On one side, we have, as we saw, substances, and on the other, the dispositors, the dispositive. On one side, we have living beings, substance or living beings. On the other, the dispositors, the dispositive. The historical sailor understood how big is this category. So on one side, human beings, on the other side, the dispositive in which they get ceaselessly captured. On one side, the ontology, on the other, the economy of the dispositive, which will take care of beings in order to manage and govern them. In this perspective, I will generalize the already huge category of Foucault dispositive, and continuing his gesture, I will call dispositor or dispositive literally everything that has in some way the capacity of capturing, determining, orienting, intercepting, shaping, guiding, securing, or controlling the behavior, the gestures, the opinion, the discourse of living beings or substances.